Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 21st of May and today we have to see 11 questions. Each question has the highest probability of being asked in any government examinations. So be attentive, be focused till the end. But first let us see question for the day. You have to answer this question in the comment section. And the question is, which country is the largest producer of palm oil? So Indonesia, which is a southeastern Asian country, is the largest producer of palm oil, while Malaysia is the second largest producer of palm oil. And India is the world's biggest edible oil importer. And recently India has decided to resume the purchase of Malaysian palm oil after a gap of 4 months. India decided to withhold the purchase of palm oil from Malaysia after Malaysia started commenting on India's internal affairs when Indian government decided to abrogate Article 370. Malaysian government were commenting continuously against India on this issue. That is why Indian government decided to withhold the purchase of palm oil from Malaysia. But now India has again started importing this oil. Since relations between both these government has improved after establishment of new government in Malaysia. And Malaysia has also signed a deal last week to buy 1 lakh tons of Indian rice. Let's see the next question now. But before that, there is one request to all of you. I love to do my work with full dedication. That is why I started this channel and I give my 100% to bring the best and most important questions for my students. But it takes lots of time and lots of energy to give the best output. So please, I request everyone to share these videos. If you find my videos useful, please do share it. It will help to sustain this channel. And also don't forget to press the bell icon so that you don't forget and don't miss to watch these daily videos. It will help you to get notifications at the earliest so that you get all the notifications and watch all the videos daily. So let's move ahead now. The second question. WAG 12, which is in news recently, is a WAG 12, which is in news recently, is a electric locomotive. So here B is the right answer. And this WAG 12 was in news because Indian Railways has operationalized its first 12,000 horsepower electric locomotive, which was manufactured locally by French rolling stock manufacturer Alstom. So in some examinations, they may ask you that which company made this 12,000 horsepower electric locomotive in India. So it was French company Alstom. And India became the 6th country in the world to join the club of countries which produces high horsepower locomotive indigenously. And this has been manufactured at the Madhepura Electric Locomotive Private Limited, which is based in Bihar. I repeat, it has been manufactured at Madhepura Electric Locomotive Private Limited at Bihar. And this private limited is a joint venture between French major company and Indian Railways with shareholding of 74% with French and 26% with Indian Railways. And this joint venture is the largest foreign direct investment in railway sector, and it is also the first time that high horsepower locomotive has been operationalized on broad gauge track in the world. I repeat this sentence once again, very important, that it is the first time that such a high horsepower locomotive has been operationalized on broad gauge track in the world. The next question now. The theme for World Bee Day 2020 is, the theme for World Bee Day 2020 is Save the Bees. I repeat, Save the Bees. So here B is the right answer. And it is celebrated on May 20th to raise the awareness of the importance of bees and other pollinators such as butterflies, bats, hummingbirds, and the threats they face and their contributions to sustainable development. And 20th May coincides with the birth anniversary of Anton Jansa. Who was Anton Jansa now? Anton Jansa pioneered the modern beekeeping techniques in the 18th century in his native country Slovenia. I repeat it once again. Anton Jansa pioneered this beekeeping technique in the 18th century in his native country Slovenia. Now an important update. Be attentive that those who have watched the video last day of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, there we have discussed that government has changed the definition for the recognition of micro, small and medium enterprises. But now government has came up with One more update. Government has again now changed the definition for medium units. Government earlier had decided that a firm with investment of up to rupees 20 crore and turnover of under 100 crore was to be classified as medium enterprises. But last day government again has decided that now the definition for medium enterprises will be changed, and that by enhancing the investment and turnover limits up to rupees 50 crore and 200 crore respectively. So now those enterprises and those companies whose turnover is below 200 crore and has investment of below 50 crore are to be termed as medium enterprises. And we have also discussed the definitions of a small enterprises and micro enterprises. So their definitions will remain same, only the definition of medium enterprises has been changed by the government last day. That is why I provided this update. And those who have not watched the video of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, you are missing a great thing. We have discussed so many things there. So go and watch that video. Let's see the next question now. Consider the following statements about National Test Abhyas. See, this National Test Abhyas is artificial intelligence powered mobile app, and it has been developed by National Testing Agency to enable candidates to take mock tests for upcoming exams such as JEE Main, NEET under this NTA's purview. So this statement is correct. This is a mobile app which will help the aspirants of JEE Main, NEET exam to take mock test. It will be similar to a test like we organize a weekly test on this channel. And the next statement is it has been launched by Ministry of Human Resource Development. This is also correct. So here both of these statements are correct. So remember the Ministry of Home Affairs. So here C is the right answer. The next question now. Sugauli Treaty that established the boundary line of Nepal was signed in. So the Sugauli Treaty was signed in the year of 1816. Remember the year, very important, 1816, and this treaty was signed after the Anglo-Nepalese War of 1814 till 1816. And this treaty required Nepal to give up all the territories west and east of its present-day borders, to surrender the entire Tarai region, and to accept a permanent British representative in Nepal. However, two regions, particularly Susta and Kalapani regions, are still a matter of contention between Nepal and India. And recently the issue was in news because Nepal government has decided that it will release a new and updated political map which will include the disputed area of Lipu Lake, Kalapani and Limpia Dharu as a part of Nepali territory. Someday when we will start a series for map, we will discuss all the important maps for the entire world and all the areas which are the issues of contentions throughout the world. Here you have to remember that these are the three areas which Nepal is trying to show in its map that these are part of Nepal. However, Indian government has issued strong protest and said that Nepal government is acting on the behest of a well-known third party. So it was an indirect reference to China. The next question now, VE Day, that is Victory in Europe Day, is celebrated to mark the end of. So it is celebrated to mark the end of World War II. The next question now, consider the following statements about World Health Assembly. World Health Assembly is the decision-making body of World Health Organization, in short WHO. This statement is correct, and this assembly is held annually in Geneva, which is in Switzerland. So here again both of these statements are correct, so C is the right answer. And this assembly is attended by delegations from all WHO member states, and it focuses on a specific health agenda prepared by Executive Board. And recently Dr. Harshvardhan, who is the Union Minister of Health, participated in the 73rd World Health Assembly through video conference. Remember that every questions related to WHO is very important this year because WHO is under huge criticism because of its actions in the time when world is going through this COVID-19 pandemic. So remember that this is the 73rd World Conference or World Health Assembly Conference. The next question now, consider the following statements about cyclones. Last day we have seen about details about Amphoe cyclone. So today we have to know in detail about cyclones. See, let's see the statements. They are centralized high pressure systems with very high speed winds revolving around it. No, this statement is wrong. You have to pay attention here that they are centralized low pressure system, not high pressure system, but very high speed winds revolve around it. This part is correct, but here this word is wrong. Actually, in the middle or in the center of cyclone there is low pressure or centralized low pressure, and in the surrounding there is high pressure. So as we know that winds blow from high pressure to low pressure, so winds blow from high pressure to low pressure. So this is the direction of movement of winds in a cyclone. Wind converges to a center, and at center there is centralized low pressure, and they derive their energy from heated seawater. This statement is also correct. You must have noticed that while the time this cyclone remains and moves on the surface of seawater, it gets much stronger with every passing time. Why this happens? Because it gets heats from seawater, which acts as energy for this cyclone, and it rapidly moves towards land. But once it strikes land and move inwards towards the land surface, it move away from its source of energy. That is why when it moves towards the land surface, slowly it get decreased and its power is reduced, and ultimately there is subsequent death of these cyclones, and that process of death of cyclone is called as cyclonolysis. I repeat the word cyclonolysis, while the process of formation of cyclone is called as cyclonogenesis. I hope you will remember these words. Cyclonolysis is the death of or empirical death of this cyclone, while cyclonogenesis is the origin or the formation of cyclone. And last day we have discussed about tropical cyclone and temperate cyclone and difference between these two. So those who have not watched the previous day video, watch that too. I will share that video at the end of the screen. The next question now. mRNA 1273 vaccine against COVID-19 has been developed by a company of. So this mRNA 1273 vaccine against COVID-19 has been developed by a company of USA, and this vaccine is the working name of Moderna's vaccine. I repeat, it is the working name of Moderna's vaccine, which is currently in phase 1 of clinical trial, and it has been showing better results, and this has been developed under the aegis of US National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. And this mRNA means messenger RNA, which carries the genetic formula for the coding of a specific protein, and this vaccine is a bit different from other vaccines. Generally in vaccines what happens is an attenuated or a weakened form of virus is introduced to the human body, so that the immune response or antibodies is generated in the human body, so that whenever that human body comes in contact with such virus in future, their antibodies become activated and fight against those virus. That is why in vaccines weakened form of virus are transplanted to human body. But in these vaccines which has been developed by USA, the virus will not be introduced into the human body. Instead, a coded protein will be transplanted or introduced to human body, and that code will act as such virus, so that antibodies in human body considers and imagine that code as shape of virus. It will be imaginary that human body or human antibodies will just imagine that code as virus, so that in future whenever COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 comes in contact with that body, it will automatically generate the immune system to fight against those viruses. The next question now. Consider the following statements about star rating of garbage-free cities. See, the star rating protocol was launched by Ministry of Housing Affairs in 2018. This statement is correct. Remember the year 2018 and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and the 6 cities has been certified as 5-star, 65 cities has been starred as 3-star, and 70 cities got the 1-star for the assessment year of 2019 to 2020. and this rating has been given for the garbage free status. So here again C is the right answer. You can't remember the name of 65 cities, but at least you have to remember these 5-star cities. These are Ambikapur, which is in Chhattisgarh, then Surat and Rajkot, which is in Gujarat, and Indore in MP, and Navi Mumbai in Maharashtra. And it is based on 12 parameters which follow a SMART framework. And this SMART framework means single metric, measurable, achievable, rigorous verification mechanism, and targeted towards outcomes. The next question now, Center for International Climate and Environmental Research is a climate research institute of, so it is an institution of Norway, which is a Scandinavian country in Europe. And recently this institution has evaluated the COVID-19's effect on carbon emissions, and it has predicted that emissions will fall between 4.2 and 7.5% on last year, as against a rise of 1% which was earlier estimated. Earlier there was estimate that in 2020 there will be increase in 1% of carbon emissions, but this prediction was before the COVID-19 pandemic. But since the lockdown, there is estimation that carbon emission will reduce by 4.2% to 7.5%. The next question is very important again. Cerberus in news recently is a, so Cerberus is a Trojan. So here B is the right answer. And it is primarily used to steal financial data such as credit card numbers. And now the question arises that what is Trojan? Trojan is a type of malicious code or software which is used to damage, disrupt, steal, or inflict harmful action on data or network. And this Cerberus take advantage of COVID-19 pandemic. It sends SMS to lure a user to download the link containing the malicious software. And recently it was in news because CBI has alerted all the states and UTs and the state center agencies about the threat of Cerberus. So watch the video of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and the last day current affairs video. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and like the video if you find it useful. Subscribe to this channel, answer the question in the comment section. Wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay at your home, stay safe. Thanks a lot.